So as I was saying, COPD में you have four conditions, which is chronic bronchitis, emphysema, bronchial asthma, and bronchiectasis. We're starting with chronic bronchitis. Now, in some people, they will have persistent cough. How you diagnose chronic bronchitis is one person to be clinically defined or clinically be diagnosed as a person who has chronic bronchitis, they need to have persistent cough. Okay, they need to have persistent cough with expectoration. So chronic bronchitis में they need to have persistent cough. Now this persistent cough for most days for 3 months of a year. Once again, 3 months of a year for at least 2 years, for 2 or more years. 2 or more years. ठीक है, that is how you diagnose a patient with chronic bronchitis. इसका मतलब क्या है? Let us suppose you start observing one of your family members now. ठीक है, 2021 अभी क्या है, मार्च चल रहा ना. Let us suppose they start coughing around April, example. ठीक है, and they cough for most days during April, May, June. Now it can be continuous months or it can be spread apart as well, but it is that they are coughing continuously and they have a lot of expectoration. Okay, they are spitting out a lot of mucus or any sort of expectoration altogether, and this is going on for 2021, 22 में भी हो रहा and 23 में भी हो रहा. Okay, 2 years or more, 2 consecutive years or more. If they are having the same condition during similar period of time, meaning फिर से 2022 April में उनको हो रहा या 2023, maybe it's not is not April, but again whenever it is getting triggered, they are coughing continuously for a long period of time. For most of the days, they have chronic cough and they have a problem. ठीक है, वैसा अगर condition meet हुआ तो it will be chronic bronchitis. Right? So persistent cough for most days for 3 months of a year for 2 or more years. ठीक है, 3 months of a year can be continuous, can be discontinuous as well. मतलब जनवरी में कंटिन्यूस खांसे थे, फिर मई में खांसे, फिर दिसंबर में खांस रहे, but it still counts as 3 months. Right? Generally, you will find such patients, they will not have breaks. They will continuously be coughing for a period of time. मतलब जनरली विंटर में कॉफ करते या समर में कॉफ करते, पूरा समर कॉफ करते, थिंग्स लाइक दैट. ठीक है, मेनली ये कॉफ क्यों हो रहा? म्यूकस का ओवर सेक्रेशन हो रहा. There is mucus over secretion, and this mucus over secretion is triggering your cough. Okay, because of excessive amount of mucus, you will not be able to breathe properly. That patient will not be able to breathe properly, and ultimately they will cough. Now, this is more common in men. Okay, 20% of adult men and 5% of adult women have this chronic bronchitis, but only few develop, complete COPD. Mostly they will have either chronic bronchitis or emphysema रहता है, and they might get resolved. Complete full blown COPD होने के chances कम है. ठीक है, COPD is when they have more serious condition. कभी कभी कॉर्पल्मोनल होके भी रुक जाता. ठीक है, if they are having such a cough for a long period of time, there is a good chance that they will develop right-sided heart failure because of this reason. Okay, excessive amount of coughing for a long period of time and excessive amount of mucus production can also lead to pulmonary hypertension, which will ultimately lead to call. Now, the two main causes for chronic bronchitis will be cigarette smoking and atmospheric pollution. Okay, very, very important factors. Cigarette smoking and environmental pollution. Okay, there are other factors as well, but these two contribute the most. Now, in certain situations, mainly क्या होता, especially during smoking, if you have a smoker, heavy cigarette smokers are too, they have about 4 to 10 times more chance of developing chronic bronchitis than anyone else. Okay, so if you know two people and one of them is a smoker, heavy smoker, they have a 4 to 10 times more higher chance of developing chronic bronchitis in their lifetime compared to an average healthy individual. Now, prolonged smoking for a long period of time, they are smoking very aggressively. That will impair the cilia, pseudostatic ciliated epithelium will get damaged. Alveolar macrophages will not work properly. There will be hypertrophy and hyperplasia of mucus secreting glands. What will happen is because of increased exposure to this smoke, your secreting mucus secreting glands will start getting burnt up. They will literally get damaged, and that will trigger cellular adaptation, meaning hypertrophy and hyperplasia will occur in those glands. More amount of mucus will start getting secreted, and ultimately what will happen is airway obstruction will occur. Another thing is that because of nicotine, vagal stimulation will occur. Vagal nerve will start getting so आपकी जो vagus nerve है, that will start getting stimulated, and because of vagal stimulation, bronchoconstriction will occur. So all of this is associated with cigarette smoking. Now, if we talk about environmental pollution, this is not just for other normal people as well. It is also for people who have occupational hazards. So let us suppose we talk about people who work in cotton mills. Okay, they have a condition. They develop a condition called dyssynosis. Okay, dyssynosis बोलते हैं उसको. Dyssynosis is a condition in which the patient is having bronchitis due to exposure to cotton या फिर hemp या flax. Any of these are triggering excessive mucus production in them, and they are continuously coughing. Ultimately, they develop bronchitis because of this. So this is kind of an occupational hazard. Okay. There is also chance like कि infection की वजह से हो रहा या फिर there are toxic fumes, वो भी environmental में ही आता technically, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, particulate dust, industrial areas में जो लोग रहते, maybe there is a familial factor because genetic and familial factor cannot be ruled out. Some people will have more thick and hyperemic and edematous kind of bronchial walls. Mainly what will happen is in chronic bronchitis, see, chronic bronchitis and emphysema are like brothers. They go hand in hand. More often than not, it is difficult to separate each other. So even to diagnose one from the other, it is kind of hard to distinguish one from the other. Okay? Because the symptoms will overlap. Obviously, the patient of chronic bronchitis will have persistent cough, and this cough is copious. It has copious amount of expectoration, long expectoration as well. For a long period of time, they'll keep on expectorating, and the amount that they expectorate, the amount that they cough out, that will also be quite significant. Especially heavy smokers. Now, if you have anyone in your family who is a very heavy smoker, you will know that very early in the morning, especially if they have been smoking for several years, they will have something called throat clearing in the morning. It is also called morning catarrh. Morning catarrh. Okay. So essentially, what happens is in morning catarrh, this will worsen in the winter. So whatever mucus has built up during the night, they will start expectorating out in the morning, early first thing in the morning. So they start making weird noises and all of that, but essentially they are trying to breathe. So that is happening because of severe damage to their lungs. Another thing in chronic bronchitis is that patients who have chronic bronchitis, they will have respiratory infections recurrently. There will be recurrent respiratory infections. Even if it is a mild infection, they will have an infection. Okay. The patient will become hypercapnic. They will have hypercapnia, essentially increased PCO2. They will have hypoxia, decreased PO2. Hypercapnia is increased PCO2. Okay. Partial pressure of carbon dioxide increases more than normal. They will have dyspnea on exertion. They'll not be able to breathe properly on exertion. You will start seeing symptoms of right-sided heart failure. Okay. These patients will also be called blue bloaters. People who have chronic bronchitis, there is a special term for them called blue bloaters. इनको ये नाम इसलिए रखे क्योंकि they will have cyanosis because of a decreased amount of oxygen, what will happen is several areas in your body will start having cyanosis, and certain areas will become edematous because there is global inflammatory damage. Overall in your body there will be inflammatory damage. अगर oxygen कम हो गया तो what will happen is, especially in the lips, there will be edema. So the lips will become swollen and they'll become blue. That is why the person itself will start to gain weight and they will have overall edema and will start looking a little blue. That is why they are called blue bloaters. Okay. Generally, if you perform a chest X-ray, you will be able to find that their heart is enlarged because of right-sided heart failure. Their heart will enlarge in size, and vessels will become more prominent. Okay. So that is about chronic bronchitis. Patients who have this. If you want me to repeat it or any part of it that you didn't understand, feel free to ask. This is only one part of COPD. Okay. Now coming to emphysema. See, it is very difficult to distinguish between emphysema and bronchitis. As I told you, the symptoms are also very, very similar. Pulmonary emphysema essentially is a condition in which there is permanent dilation of your air spaces. Okay? Especially air spaces which are distal to your terminal bronchioles. Okay? Now, I'm sure you, आप हमको परसों ही I think लंग की हायरार्की के बारे में याद दिलाया था मैं आपको. But terminal bronchiole के नीचे आपके respiratory bronchiole, alveoli, well, all of that will be there. So what happens is there is permanent dilation in that area, and depending on kaisa dilation ho raha, there will be classification of your emphysema. We'll get to that. So essentially, emphysema is permanent dilatation of air spaces distal to terminal bronchiole. Okay. Along with that, what will happen is the walls, airspace के जो walls रहते हैं, they will start getting destroyed. Bronchioles plus destruction of wall of dilated air vessels, dilated air spaces. Okay, so this is technically what your emphysema is. There is permanent dilation, and along with permanent dilation, the wall of that dilated airspace will start getting deteriorated, will start getting destroyed. And the clinical features of chronic bronchitis and emphysema overlap. They are very, very similar. And generally, a patient who has emphysema, yeah, bronchitis, it will be written on the case sheet. They are either predominant bronchitis या फिर predominant emphysema. ठीक है, तो उससे डिस्टिंक्शन पता चलता क्या ज्यादा predominant है, because both of them are so close to each other. You'll have to write either the patient has predominant emphysema या predominant bronchitis. ठीक है. Now classification जो है will be depending on the portion of the acinus which is getting involved, which is undergoing emphysema. So I'll show you one image. हाँ, ये देखो. So depending on where it is occurring, classification of emphysema will involve 5 categories. Okay, यहाँ पर 4 mentioned है. We'll have a 5th one as well. First one is centrilobular. इसको centriacinar भी बोलते हैं. So centrilobular में क्या हो रहा? देखो, your respiratory bronchiole that is undergoing inflammation. All right. Your terminal bronchiole is not involved. Generally, your acinus is also not involved. Specifically, it is localized to upper lobes. Okay, tends to occur mostly in smokers. Centrilobular or centriacinar. Then we have panlobular or panacinar. This in this all portions of the acinus is involved. So mostly this is happening because of alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. Now alpha-1 antitrypsin क्या है? अच्छा, let me put it this way. You need to know this. You don't need to memorize it, but you need to know the theory behind it. So there is a particular enzyme called elastase. ठीक है. Elastase is an enzyme that is able to destroy elastic fibers. ठीक है, as the name suggests. अब अगर आपके लंग में इलास्टिसिटी रहती है एंड एलास्टेज जो है न्यूट्रोफिल्स में रहता, so listen very carefully what is happening with you. Elastase is an enzyme that is present inside, it is present in your body and it has the capability of destroying elastic fibers. For various reasons that is important. Now what happens is, in your body, neutrophils will have elastase. In certain conditions, inflammatory problems, etc., etc., these neutrophils will break or they will release elastase in order to break certain tissue. Okay? That is planned and programmed. To keep this elastase in check or to keep a lid on elastase so that elastase is not being exposed to lungs too much, because your lungs are extremely elastic. If they were not elastic, you would not be able to breathe in so much amount of air and breathe out. Okay? They would not be able to assume their original shape back if they did not have elasticity. So elasticity is something which is very, very important and a prominent feature of all the parts of your respiratory system. अब यहाँ पर क्या होता, अल्फा 1 एंटीट्रिप्सिन डेफिशिएंसी में अल्फा 1 एंटीट्रिप्सिन बोल के एक एंजाइम है, ठीक है, और लेट अस से इट इज अ प्रोटीन. अल्फा 1 एंटीट्रिप्सिन इज समथिंग दैट इज सेक्रेटेड बाय योर लिवर, ठीक है. So you have something called alpha 1 antitrypsin, ठीक है. अल्फा 1 एंटीट्रिप्सिन, ये एलास्टेज को एंटीट्रिप्सिन भी बोलते हैं. तो अल्फा 1 एंटीट्रिप्सिन क्या करता, ये एलास्टेज को सप्रेस करता, ठीक है. Whenever there is elastase roaming around in your lungs and anywhere in your body, this alpha 1 antitrypsin is present inside your blood. It is secreted by your liver, okay. This fellow is secreted by your liver and it makes sure that elastase is not causing excessive damage, okay. Only जितना necessary है उतना damage create हो रहा, बस बाकी का कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा. In certain patients, alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency occurs. And as alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency occurs, what will happen is there is nothing controlling or there is nothing stopping elastase. And ultimately, what will happen is it will cause severe damage to your lungs. It is hypothesized that one of the main causes of emphysema is because of alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency. It could be a problem wherein something is causing destruction of the protein itself, or it could be a problem where the liver is not simply not secreting enough amount of alpha 1 antitrypsin. In any case, what is happening is elastase is free to cause damage. And what will happen is once elastase is secreted, more and more amount of lung tissue will start getting exposed to elastase. It will lose its elastic property and it will undergo emphysema. I hope you understood the theory. कैसा हो रहा elastase and alpha 1 antitrypsin का relationship. समझ में आया? Do you want me to explain again? Because later on this can come up. What is alpha 1 antitrypsin? Even though it might not come up in your exam per se, but we cannot exactly say. It might come up as a short question as well. What is alpha 1 antitrypsin? And what is the theory behind that and emphysema? What is the relationship? Okay, so someone who has alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency, उनके अंदर panlobular type of emphysema होना बहुत common है, wherein the respiratory bronchiole and the alveolus, both of them are involved, and emphysema is occurring there. Essentially, they are losing their elastic properties. Then we have paraseptal type of emphysema, इसको distal acin army बोलते हैं. This type of emphysema mainly involves the distal part of your acinus. So proximal part, which is closer to your trachea, that is normal. So आपके जो terminal bronchiole रहता and your respiratory bronchiole, that is also fine. But the part of your acinus that is distal, that is farther away, that will have emphysema, that will have bulging. इसको paraseptal इसलिए बोलते हैं क्योंकि if you can see here, there are small septa. One second, let me draw that so that you can understand what is happening. Let us suppose this is your terminal bronchiole. यहाँ से respiratory bronchiole आ रहा. Let us suppose this is normal. ऐसा रहना चाहिए, ठीक है. So there is septa here. ये जो red thickening देखते हैं, ये septa है, ठीक है. Emphysema में क्या हो रहा? Let me draw the same thing, but I'll use a different color at that position. This septa is becoming blurry. Okay, if you can see here, यहाँ पर से septa गायब हो गया. Okay, this is because that bulging and because of emphysematic reaction, that acinus is essentially becoming distorted. That part of the acinus is involved in becoming emphysematic, such as bulging, and it is losing its elasticity. That is why it is called paraseptal. Septum is getting destroyed. Septum is getting affected. Then there is irregular type. Irregular type ऐसा होता है, it does not conform to anything. ठीक है? This generally occurs when the patient has surrounding scars. जहाँ जहाँ scar tissue है, let's suppose respiratory bronchiole में एक जगह है, acinus में एक जगह है, irregularly जहाँ जहाँ scar tissue form हो रहा, the area of that scar tissue loses its elasticity and that will undergo emphysema. ठीक है? इसको parasaccatral भी बोलते हैं, irregular type को. Then the final type, it is not exactly classified, mixed type बोलते हैं इसको. Mixed type में the patient will have a combination of one of these four. ठीक है? तो centrilobular and panlobular या centrilobular paraseptal या अलग-अलग जगह पे you will see multiple types of emphysema. Okay. Now essentially what happens in this, जो क्या बोलते हैं, chronic bronchitis does not always lead to emphysema. ठीक है? If you look at the etiopathogenesis, chronic bronchitis will not always lead to emphysema. Most common COPD form has chronic bronchitis and emphysema together. Okay? It is not that one is occurring before the other or something. It is random in a sense. But what we do know is that the most common etiological factors will remain the same. It is happening because of alveolar wall destruction, and it is somehow related to tobacco smoking and air pollution. Okay, those two remain the main features. Again. And what will happen is, clinically, if you look at the patient, predominantly in emphysematic patients, they will develop symptoms of emphysema almost when 1/3 of their lung is getting damaged. When 1/3 of their lung parenchyma is damaged and 1/3 of their lung is undergoing emphysema, उसके बाद आपको symptoms दिखने लगते हैं. And it is most severe in panacinar, जो panlobular या panacinar रहते हैं, उसको बोलते हैं. One thing you need to remember is that the age at diagnosis is often 10 years after the diagnosis of predominant bronchitis. So it is not always common, but most of the times what happens is someone who is developing emphysema, वो patients को, they might have had bronchitis पहले, and generally someone who is developing bronchitis, the predominant bronchitis, there is a good chance that they will develop emphysema 10 years later. Okay, because of continuous damage of bronchitis, ultimately they will develop this thing, emphysema. Okay, so that is about emphysema. Now, general situations or general this thing, the symptoms that occurs in patients will be similar. They will have a lot of difficulty in breathing. Okay, they will breathe very, very slowly. They will not have hypoxia as such. They will be able to breathe, but इन लोगों के अंदर टैकेप्निया होता है. Their rate of breathing will be faster. इन लोगों को pink puffers भी बोलते हैं, even though they are pink puffers बोलते हैं. Okay, those ones emphysematic patients were called bronchitic patients were called blue bloaters, right? लोगों के अंदर हाइपोक्सिया हो रहा था. इनके अंदर हाइपोक्सिया नहीं होता as such, थोड़ी डिफिकल्टी होती, but their lungs will still be oxygenated, but the amount of oxygen coming will be a little fluctuant and they will have tachypnea. The rate of breathing will be very high. Okay? And when they breathe, they will breathe in a little different way. They will purse their lips and they will breathe. Slowly they'll try to breathe. Okay? This is so that they can make breathing a slightly easier process. Okay? So क्या होता, airflow decreases for emphysema patient. As airflow decreases, अब जैसा मुंह कम छोटा करके ब्रीथ करने लगे तो टोटल अमाउंट ऑफ एयर जो अंदर आ रही है कम हो जाती है. And because of this, what if you keep on doing this, what will happen? Respiratory rate will increase. Even you will have to increase. Okay. Up, let us suppose एक breath में we were telling that 4 liters of oxygen was being breathed in and out in a minute, in 60 seconds. Okay. let us suppose, and this is at a rate of, let us suppose on an average 20 breaths per minute. This breath per minute, okay. तो रेस्पिरेटरी रेट है ये रेट पे लेट अस सपोज 4 liters और ब्रीथ कर रहे थे एग्जांपल डिपेंडिंग ऑन हाउ मच एवर दे आर इनहेलिंग इन ईच ब्रेथ. Now let us suppose the volume that they are sucking in, the volume of air that they are sucking in or they are breathing in per breath decreases. ठीक है, let us suppose यहाँ पर normally एक breath पे they were inhaling about 200 ml. 200 ml breathe अगर आप breathe in करें तो 20 breaths में 4 liters हो जाता. Now let us suppose because of emphysema they are breathing in only 150 ml. 150 ml of air per breath because they are pursing their lips and whatever they are doing. उसकी वजह से the total amount of air that they are breathing वो कम हो जाएगी. तो उनको invariably क्या करना पड़ता है, the amount of the number of times that they are breathing that will increase. तो 150 अगर कर रहे हैं तो ये respiratory rate बढ़ जाती है. ठीक है, ये 4 liters को वापस आने के लिए respiratory rate बहुत बढ़ा देना पड़ता. ठीक है, it will almost become 30, 25-30 की बन जाती. ठीक है, 4 liters से थोड़ा कम हो जाता and 25-30 हो जाती. So that is why they are called pink puffers. They will be tachypneic, they will be oxygenated, but they will have a very high rate of this thing, breathing. They generally will lose weight. Emphysematic patients will have weight loss. If you remember, bronchitis patients, because they have emphysema, I told you that they will become heavier. Essentially, what will happen is because of global edema, because of fluid filling up throughout their body, they will be blue bloaters. Okay? They'll become heavier slightly. Emphysema patients थोड़ा उल्टा रहता, ये लोग दुबले होते. Okay, and even if you look at the chest X-ray, they will have hyperinflated lungs but a very small heart. So kind of a contrast to them. Those people will have a larger heart. These people will have a smaller heart and hyperinflated lungs. But these people also will be able to develop cor pulmonale, especially terminal conditions. As they progress more and more into the disease, the patients will develop cor pulmonale, they might become hypercapnic, all of that will occur. Okay. And generally they will have barrel chest. So once you go to the hospital, you'll be able to see what a barrel chested person is. Okay. Cough generally appears late after dyspnea. There'll be very little amount of sputum that is coming in emphysematic patients, but they will have problems. They will not be able to. There'll be definitely problem. If you see them practically, you'll understand what is the difference between an emphysematic patient and a bronchitic patient. Okay, so that is about this thing. आपका emphysema